Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. We're gonna pay the prince a visit real quick. I want to see if he knows anything about the Dream Walker dudes. Well, let's talk to his buddy, Aaron's. Tell him. Did we get an errand from him? We definitely did. Let's talk to the prince himself. I like how we left the palace entirely. No, we're gonna go talk to the prince. Once the guards hear your name, they loosen up and promise to escort you to Prince Faisal. You are led into the main building under strict guard and are taken up series of marble steps until you arrive at the majestic audience hall, covered in meticulously detailed mosaic. Yet the prince does not talk to you, but there are signals the guards to walk you to a private chamber where he joins you after making you wait for a quarter of an hour. I see you've been successful in leaving your mark in the region and aiding my enterprise, Vagrus. He begins, all smiles and perfumed silk. Impressive, most impressive, but I knew that you were a uniquely resourceful individual the moment I first met you. He offers you a place to sit on some cushions on a decorative carpet, and once you accept, he sits down cross-legged across from you. Then he asks you to tell him all about your travels since you last met. Once you are done with what you would best describe as a detailed report, he sighs. Making strides, it seems. Wonderful. He pauses briefly. I believe that much good will come of your actions, but this is certainly not the only reason for your visit. As promised, I shall aid you in any way I can, provided that you use your clout to influence matters in my favor when the opportunity arises. There might be a thing or two you want to ask him. We would love to know about Kellianos, because that's what the people, what they mentioned, and nobody seems to know where it is. The prince's expression turns stern upon the mention of Kellianos. Now tell me, dear Vagrus, where did you hear that name? He asks casually, observing the bejeweled rings on his hands as if seeing them for the first time. You tell him about the cult of the Dreamwalker, emphasizing the darker aspects of their activities that have recently come to light. Prince Faisal seems thoughtful, and then clicks his tongue. Kellianos is a place indeed, but I'm afraid I cannot speak more of it, he says, then adds, not yet. Perhaps if I knew I could trust you more. You tell him that you've worked hard to prove yourself as a valuable ally, and the Hanjari prince nods affirmatively. That you have. I wouldn't dare take that from you, and yet some Hanjari claim that more could indeed be done, and I tend to agree. Perhaps when it finally happens, when we can call you a trusted ally, I will reveal more about Kellianos. Until then, we should talk about other matters. There is a finality in his mannerism that compels you to change the subject. Okay. I wonder if that's not... if I need higher rep with the Hanjari as a faction, rather than like personal rep with him. Let's talk to him about art. People in my court may say that my regard for art and the mastery of craftsmanship is truly profound. Prince Faisal commences, his voice carrying a weight that mirrors the gravitas of a princely edict. That my palate for beauty is impeccable, and that my penchant for reveling in the finest of the finest is not only within courtly corridors, but also echoing far beyond their confines. He carries out on with a soft chuckle. Now, to what extent were those words flattery, I cannot truly be sure, although I suspect that most of it was. Yet what I can tell you, good Vagrus, is that I do enjoy a good book from time to time, and I like to gaze at the breathtaking paintings. Then, with an air of unquestionable authority, the prince continues. I especially appreciate those who are able to create impressive pieces of art. I'm a patron of the arts, that much is certain. I pride myself on endowing those who are deserving of recognition. In fact, I have a court painter who I wish to send out to paint some of the most remarkable sights of the Empire, specifically the jagged waste and the searing plains you are familiar with. He states and then pauses for a moment before continuing. Your task here would be to take him, along with his muse and 2 bodyguards, to each and every one of the places he picked before returning to Kabur while tending to their every need, especially to those of my painter. You see, his artistic genius has to flourish for this to be a worthwhile endeavor, he says with a knowing smile. Your reward shall be 25 silver for each piece he paints, making a grand total of 125 bros. What say you, he asks, his gaze affixed upon yours, waiting your response. We lost a lot of money having to run around the desert to get the gate fixed, so let's agree to the task. Splendid! As ever, your work is very much appreciated, Vagrus, the prince exclaims in exhilaration. You are to escort Mahadi al-Safar, my court painter, to his first Destination: the Vagrus work camp east of Devon, and fulfill his request so that he can, in turn, fulfill his mission of painting the mysterious vortex. Then Prince Faisal motions to a servant who opens an ornate door to usher in a lean, short man in his 40s, dressed in an extravagant Tarkian garments. His soft features betray a life of relatively free of trials and tribulations. He spreads his arms and then bows in an overly theatrical manner and a natural fluid grace before clearing his throat and beginning to speak. Well, Matt Vagrus, I have heard tales of you, only very good things, I might add. I have conducted extensive research into the anomalies and landmarks of the continent, and already have ideas on what my artistic approach will be. Needless to say, I'm looking forward to our journey, he pronounces, his soft voice booming with enthusiasm. The prince then turns to you. As I have mentioned before, good Vagrus, the vortex in the northeastern jagged wastes is but the first leg of the journey. There will be 4 more, he says, and then motions to his servants. They vacate the hall only to return a few moments later, carrying the painter's impediments. Behind them, a young lady walks, flanked by 2 bulky men who are clearly bodyguards. Both the prince and Mahadi, the painter, turn around and look at her, and greet her with a warm smile, which she reciprocates. This precious gem here is Samira al-Murad, who I have the honor to call my muse, Mahadi tells you. Without her, my paintings would be little more than pigment on canvas, he states with certainty in his voice, and you are unable to tell if he is exaggerating. He takes her hand and kisses it, which prompts her to blush. You take a good look at the girl, and you presume to be in her late 20s. The smooth olive-toned complexion of her skin glows with natural radiance. Her finely sculpted face bears graceful curves, and her lips curl into a timid yet warm smile. Her dark, lustrous hair tumbles over her shoulders in waves, accentuating her emerald eyes. The allure of her beauty is not only enshrined in her physical features, but also in the captivating way she carries herself. Mahadi interrupts your reverie. She shall be plant the seedling of wondrous inspiration in my dreams, as the miracle muse she is, he declares, and you're unsure whether it is poetic flair or if there is more substance to it beneath the surface. You ask him what he means by that. Mahadi casts a knowing look at Samira before he responds. Well, quite literally what I just said. When my muse and I sleep in close proximity to one another at night, her gift makes it so that my dreams are fecundated with inspiration. The next morning, when my mind makes sense of it all, it translates into an artistic drive that compels me to create. It is the most astounding experience, I dare say, he proclaims with a genuine tone. You instinctively shift your gaze to Samira. She acknowledges your bewilderment with a soft giggle. My father, Abbas al-Murad, was a low-born yet highly respected priest of Anubis of the Twin Gods. As a reward for his devoted service, the Night Prince blessed me with an uncanny ability that inspires those engaged in artistic pursuits around me, with whom I share a connection to an incredible extent. She divulges, prompting Prince Faisal to chime in. It is truly a one-of-a-kind gift that leaves those who know about it in awe. But of course, great Anubis is also a god of dreams. Does he influence all of us through our dreams? How come people not worshipping have dreams too? Their religious implications warrant hours upon hours of conversation and pondering, the prince posits. Then again, it is entirely possible this is how the taint has manifested itself, for physical effects do not always go hand in hand with more arcane ones, he says ponderously. That may be so, good prince, yet I firmly believe this is not the taint. Oh, that was the guy. Mahadi's voice rings in with conviction. It feels as if we're experiencing Anubis's boon, nothing less. Prince Faisal gently nods and then casts his gaze upon you. Either way, the 4 of them shall be your passengers. Take good care of them, please. You assure him that you will, and then tell them to join your comitatus at the Manzio. Mahadi bows his head and says that his entourage will be there within the hour. Then the painter, Samira, and his bodyguards take their leave. They join my comitatus. Wow, there's a lot of reading right off the bat. When the painter and his entourage vacate the prince's opulent chamber, he turns to you again, indicating he wishes to convey something else as well. There is one thing you should know. I hold Mahadi's pursuit of excellence in high regard, and I am invested, in more ways than one, in his success as an artist. Furthermore, I trust you enough to disclose something of significance so that you can make informed decisions throughout your journey with him, he confides, his tone born of confidentiality and imperturbability alike. The Patriarch of Akina takes a moment to consider his next words carefully. A while back, despite her better judgment, Samira became involved with the abolitionists. They prey on her naivete. This tarnished an otherwise impeccable service to the Hanjari, one for her which her father had labored all his life. And while normally such an act would incur the death sentence for father and daughter, it was, all things considered, merely a minor infringement. Many felt that mercy could be shown to these two, who are devoted to Anubis and to family alike. The temple was very insistent in this matter, and I saw no issue with being lenient, especially after Samira offered her abilities as a way of atonement, he disclosed with forgiving yet authoritative cadence. Prince Faisal twists his mustache thoughtfully. I also know of a young warrior who loves her. I believe it is mutual, too. Normally they reside in Kabr together, but Samira will need to spend some time with Mahadi for now on the road. Oh, to be young again, the prince muses with a smile playing on his lips. I have told you this so that you are aware of the strain on the muse, and Aid, her man, shall not prove an obstacle, I don't think. He knows that Samira's debt must be paid. Having told you everything of import, Prince Faisal smiles as he adds, you agree that the creation of art should go on unhindered, I presume. I look forward to your return, dear Vagrus. You assure the prince that you shall. And away we go. All right, well, we have the prince's muse in hand and his artist. We will take them with us. So the plan for today, other than talking with the prince, is I was thinking we could go to the oil fields and also the oasis over here. Just kind of do a loop and then come directly back to the stone gate. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. And then go through. Because I was hoping now that the gate should be widened that we could go through with a crap ton of oil. It's kind of what I was hoping. And then we could make a bunch of money. So that's the plan. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. So we will leave Kabr with the prince's artist in tow. Away we go. I always forget what like the most efficient route to the oil field is. It kind of looks like you could go this way or this way, as long as you end up going straight north. The Realmgate repairs are done! Huzzah! Okay, so that means get as much oil as you can get your hands on. Which was the whole point of us coming to the oil field in general. So let's turn in the one. And then how much oil do you got on hand, my peeps? We've got 7 days worth of food, but we are running on 50% rations. So we should be fine from that perspective. Where's the oil at? 32? Like if we look at what we could sell oil for in Torzag Shelter, for example, can sell for 23 if we buy it at the any of the oil fields, really. You can make a 15% profit on a full stack, or a 15 gross profit on a full stack. That's almost a 200% profit. We'll buy all of it. All of what we can carry. Although we should, honestly, we should just get another beast. Give me that one you have. Now give me all your oil. Where'd it go? Where is it? There it is. Max it out. And then, I guess we'll rest here, because we used all of our movement. Anybody going to the right places? Not really. Rest up. Sleep on the ground. Good healing. Then we need to go up to Renaris. Get our hands on even more oil. Yes. And if we need some supplies, we can probably snag some from the Oasis. You buggers! I hate these fanatics. How many of you are there? I don't want to add you all up. All right, defend equally. Actions. Wait a minute. Makeshift barricade. There we go. Now we're up to 96% success. And culled the ranks. I was hoping to be productive this episode. And you had to get in the way. I hate fighting these people. You'd think they'd be easy. They're kind of annoying. All right, let's try and stun this guy. We've done so. A guy has singled out Nadir, so let's hope we can protect her from getting in the front ever. All right, killed one. You did evade. They do have fairly high evasion, which is kind of obnoxious. Stop fanaticizing people. I demand you stop it. All right, rush forward. Maybe kill this guy. You did. Good job. He's gonna poke people. He's gonna flail about wildly. He's done it again. He crit me for 2. The real danger is the fact that they attack so much. Who's stunned? I think it's that guy over there. So let's stun the other guy. And then try to kill this guy because he'll come off stun earlier. No, you missed a stunned man. How is that even possible? And he's not dead yet, but hopefully now? Nope, we still missed him. I guess axe this guy who came to the front. He singled me out again. All right, double kill. Good job, Nadir. Now we can go to town just stabbing people right and left. I think instead of... Oh man, how do you cancel? Oops. There we go. That actually worked. Instead of switching with Gorgoro, because Gorgoro is out of power, I wanted him to switch with Eilani. He evaded me? That's not allowed. Oh, he died. Suck it. All right, Eilani got beat up a little bit, but everybody else came out the other side pretty well. Oh, you guys got owned. Are you retreating? Sure are. Ooh, we crit success. All right, pursue them. You've been murdered. Suck it. What did we get? We don't really need to give anybody time because I don't think anybody got hurt. Significantly. Well, we just got a bunch of money and then a bunch of odd bone carvings. Well, that was an interesting 2 minutes. All right, let's get some vigor back. It's not gonna work quite as well since we're running on 50% rations, but it'll work okay. All right, turn these in. Do you have anything for Wazir High? No. I'm not surprised, but I thought I'd check. Holy God, they have all the oil in the world. I'm gonna buy all of it. I don't know why that's so funny. Holy crap, we're oil barons now. Okay, head out. Head down to the east a little bit. A little more east than south, I guess. I can see the W under the book. How about we just go straight west? And then our people can possibly look for stuff in the desert. I didn't think it was highly likely that they'd find anything, but you might as well. It's like a 15% chance of success. 12% chance of success. All right, things are fine. In we go. We can always get a little more supplies in Wazir High because it's an oasis. Oh, it's actually not cheap. I thought it would be cheap, but apparently not. Legatus Bridge back to Kabur. Okay. Why don't 4 days? And the Stone Gate is 3 to 4 days. All right, we'll buy. That was a random amount of supplies that I just purchased. All right, buy all of it. I think it was half of their supplies. Okay, we got back to 5 days worth. And we could rest here. And we honestly should. Send our people out about town to possibly get some money. They succeeded. Good job, team. And then west we go, I guess. It's a little tricky going like due west from here because there's like some big spaces to move, but not really like straight west. Yeah, people are fine. 779 is fine. Honestly, I feel like vigor is the most important stat in the game. If you have high vigor, the others are kind of like cursory. I'm expecting to fail most of the things, but we did reach the Stone Gate today. All right, here's the test. How many things can I fit through the gate? Visit the mage camp. I probably should have tested this out before putting like 12 stacks of oil into my Comitatus, but we're gonna find out what happens here. Seek out Sadun and Siraj. Consult them regarding their progress. In their tent, the Magi, their enthusiasm akin to that of intrepid explorers, eagerly divulged the latest revelations concerning the gate. "Marvelous tidings, Vagrus," Sidun exclaims, his eyes ablaze with promise of immense knowledge. "We have triumphed in our mission to augment the Realmgate. From now on, you may guide your mounts across its threshold too." Siraj, a stalwart presence beside Sidun, offers a nod filled with unwavering assurance. "Rest assured," he declares with a calm, resolute demeanor, "the gateway retains its stability. Your passage through is devoid of peril. We implore you to embark on your journey with all due haste and possibly enlighten your strange friend out there with our success. You can return to Icarian to discuss your progress." Okay. To the gate. To the gate. No! We have to... You can have mounts. You can't have beasts of burden. I'm devastated. Man, that's rough. 'Cause what? That leaves us with... We have so much oil. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, God, that's funny. Let's see here. Beasts. You don't have any horses. What if I go back and just get a crap ton of mounts? Cargo. What mount is better? The horses are way better. Thoughts are brewing. Can you... Question. I wonder if I could sell oil in Cobber for like... for somewhat of a profit? I doubt it. Like if we buy oil... Is it a raw material? Crafted good? No? Edible? You can't eat oil. What are you talking about? You lose money selling it in Cobber, for sure. Now. We could switch back to horses. Because they carry more. Well, all right, I'm going to pause the video for a second. I will come back once I've figured out my oil inventory management problem. Be right back. We've made it back, team. All right, so I've done a lot of reconfiguring here. We had to kick out most of our guards and a good chunk of our labor slave force. We have 24 mounts now. No beasts of burden. I made a horrible decision and probably bought, I think it was like 6 more oil than I needed, or than I could carry, so I sold that back, lost some money from that, obviously. No supplies. However, I do believe I have supplies on the other side of the gate, and I believe I also have beasts of burden hanging out in the liminal space between realms. So when we go through, I think we're okay to take this all with us. Plus, I think I have some fighters in reserve there. I'm not sure. But we're gonna head over to the gate. We can go through. We have 51, less than 51 crew, companions, beasts, and passengers. We have 50. So the astrolabe sends its energies. You get to Kadath waits on the other side. In we go. We've brought 8 stacks of oil, maybe 10 stacks of oil with us. Oh, don't leave, enter the field. Leave the field of stars. Go to the village. We must tell our companion guy about our success. All right, well, who do we got here? We have 1 million fighters, no workers. Poorly defended, partially, and fully defended. All right, we're gonna probably leave some fighters in here. But what do we got for beasts? Beasts. 1 beast of burden, yes! And then 1 million mounts. Once again, we're understaffed, but we have a lot of stuff we could take with us. We're gonna take actually, we should take that with us to the other side, because I imagine marble and iron are pretty valuable. Take the supplies. It's not great that we don't have a lot with us, but I think it'll be fine. Now, we must go talk to Icarian. Discuss the enhancement of the realm gates. Report your progress with updating the stone realm gate. Your report on the Hanjari Magi's progress not only satisfies Icarian's curiosity, but also garners his approval. With the frame reinforced and the crystals embedded, the Realmgate is stable and easier to traverse, he concludes. You press him on how to continue the enhancements further, which in turn make the Mage Smith look a little reluctant. You would pursue this? He asks, frowning. Kadath is a refuge, a haven for those who wish to disappear. Rebuilding and stabilizing Realmgates for your convenience and safety is one thing, but I'm afraid this endeavor will lead to this island becoming a staging ground of sorts. You assure Icarian that it will not be the case. Only you will use the gates, as the Astrolabe is bound to you. Besides, you swore to respect his rules of Kadath, including not risking the village's safety or peace. The Ithil mage sighs. You shall not relent, I see. He smiles faintly. So be it. I can work on enhancing the gates further. Indeed, such a task bears some interest to me. It's been a long time since my skills in the arcane were tested so. Before to succeed, I require many improvements to my shop. I must test certain theories I have. Rare metals for starters, some of the toughest variety available to you, and something even rarer. You ask Icarian what he is thinking about. Have I ever told you how the pawns came to be? Icarian steps outside the warehouse and peers toward the side of the island where the Fang Gate and the notorious lakes of greenish ooze are. Before you can answer, he goes on. There was a great crash. A skyship belonging to the ogres fell on the island. Almost all hands were lost upon impact, and the few who survived perished soon afterwards, despite my best efforts. The wreckage began to ooze that noxious liquid and created the lakes that in turn devoured most of the ship. Icarian turns his back to you. There are parts in that wreckage that could prove vital to my study and further Realmgate enhancements. He confides almost apologetically. If you plan to take the risk, you will need protection against the choking gas that engulfs the area. The piece of equipment I require is the Realmgate Navigation Attunement Nexus from the helm. You inform Icarian that you have no clue what that is and how to find it. He describes it carefully, going into minute detail. After a quarter of an hour, you have the description of a part as well as sketches that the Ithil drew to help identify it. Regardless, this is not going to be an easy undertaking, and you'll have to come up with a method of protecting yourself and your companions for such a venture in the toxic gas-ridden territory. But for now, let us begin with the metal, Icarian says to conclude the discussion. For now, there is nothing else to discuss the matter. Okay, Realmgate repairs. Whoa, it requires dragon steel, 16 iron, 8 tin, 8 copper. Okay, we can do that. In fact, we have most of the iron already here, so that's neat. We should talk with the people and see if we can get some supplies. Ask for supplies. Great. Thank you, everybody. You are a credit to your people. All right, we have all the mounts. Crew. We have no more crew to take with us. So, we probably don't want to take any more fighters with us. You guys will just have to live here for now. I don't think we want to take any of the... We do want to take the supplies, though. I don't think we want to take any of these things. These are all bound for the other side of the gate. Because we'll make a lot of money over there. Or we could take it to the... What's-your-ma-call-it? The... I can't remember what it's called. The thing with the oasis? Hacktoras, that's one. Where he needs, like, 20 stacks of ivory and a bunch of tin or something like that. We'll slowly make progress on that. But this is very exciting. I'm so jazzed to bring all of this oil to Torzag Shelter. Open the Realmgate and pass through. And now, the task ahead of us is to escort the artist around the land. We have to take him up to the vortex. All right, we don't. We are a little under. Well, that's weird. We shouldn't be under workforced, but we are, because it says it was like 16.55 and we were at 16.11 or something like that. You see that? I don't know what's happening there. Also, we're still stuck at the 50% thing, so I'm not gonna complain too much. All right, we've reached Torzag Shelter. I gotta see, what does our money do when we get in there? Nothing to hide. Show them our trade license. And unload all the oil. 180! Bam! That's crazy. And I wonder what's the one, what would be the resource we would take to Cobber from Torzag Shelter? I gotta see. like, if we bought obsidian and we brought, yeah, you could make 9 per stack of obsidian. You could make even more on marble. So honestly, I'd probably hit like arcane before heading over. Holy cow. The world is our oyster all of a sudden. Bright kelp, not so much. Man, that's exciting. Oh, the world is opened up to us. The bronze is very interesting. What if you got metal all the way from Avernum? It's a long way to haul it, so it wouldn't be as convenient as other things. You make 27 on it. It's not quite the payout that the oil is, just like percentage-wise, but it's still a crazy amount of money, just like in general. The dragon bone! It costs 450? 15? No wonder people be trying to sell this stuff all the time. So we need to get our hands on dragon steel scrap, which I assume would be at like the Crimson Gate. Just kind of curious. I don't know where you, I know I've stumbled across it like in my like times of exploring around, but I don't know if you can like buy it. Maybe you can buy it from like the Loaders Guild or somebody, like buying hot wares or whatever it is. Yeah, iron is kind of nuts too. You could make 40 per stack of iron. Maybe we become metal merchants. And the nice thing about that is they're small stacks of stuff. So you could get a full stack of iron and you don't need to haul like 80 horses with you to make the journey. All right, I kind of want to reconfigure things here. Before we end the episode, I think I want to switch back over to mammals, just on the fact that those guys are more economical for dragging stuff through the gate. And the fact that the gate is such a valuable way of making money. All right, we got rid of 12 supplies, that's fine. I think that's worthwhile. So let's get rid of these 2 workers. Get the horse, like buy all of the mounts you can. Swap. And we're gonna have to like rebuild our crew here as well, because we had to ditch like all of the fighters. Buy all these guys. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Now, the crew, make these all outriders. Just because we're like pretty understaffed right now from the amount of labor available. And I don't know, we'll probably want most of the beasts of burden. I think the plan would be to go like Avernum, Devon, and then we can do the vortex thing. The outlaw camp? Oh yeah, because we need to take him to Agaros work camp. Or would it be better to go Crimson Gate? It's kind of like you could do one or the other. I think I'll do that off camera though. I'll kind of like peruse the missions available and set us up for success next episode. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more Vagrus the Riven Realms or the other videos going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. That also helps me out a lot. But until next time, everybody, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!